Hello everyone and welcome. My name is Tom and today I would like to present my first case review. This is the Aerocool P7-C1, a mid-tower case with eATX motherboard support and high airflow. In this build I'm also using 6 examples of the Cooltech Silent Fan 120 PWM fans. Link to both product pages will be in the description. In my case reviews, I like to focus on what it's like to build in the case rather than temperatures or noise levels because your system configuration is likely different from mine, so we will get different numbers. But the building experience should be about the same. And with this being said, I'll start with a few negative points I found, followed by some feedback on what I should see changed out of personal preference, and then we'll get to the good points. So the first minor negative point I want to mention was actually the first thing I noticed when unboxing the case, and that is that the top panel is slightly sticking out over the front panel, and the corners of it are actually quite sharp. So if you're clumsy like me, you can actually hurt yourself on those. Don't ask me how that was the first thing I found out about the case when unboxing. The second thing, and again, this is not really something you do once the build is assembled, is that when the case gets under any sort of shock or vibration, and especially if you're taking the side panels on or off, it rattles. I don't know if the camera picks that up, but it does get quite annoying while building and gives the case a more flimsy impression than what it otherwise feels like when you're actually building it. For the most part, it feels really solid. And now for the only real complaint I have with this case, and that is the top panel. It looks awesome, but it has the front I/O on it, and it is integrated into the top panel itself. So it's all one piece and it's not coming off. So when you've already connected the front I/O cables to your motherboard, you can't actually lift off the top panel anymore. And in order to lift it off in the first place, you first have to remove the front panel. And that by itself doesn't come off cleanly either because there's a cable attached to it. So if you want to add or remove top fans after you've already plugged in your front I/O to the motherboard, yeah, you gotta do something like this, which is not a very elegant solution, is it? However, I think I have an idea of what they could do. If you were to make a cut in this top panel right after the front I/O and have this as a fixed separate piece, then you can put some hinges about here, and then you could pull on the end of it, and it'll fold up 90 degrees, and then you can easily access the fans without really compromising anything else. One thing I'd like to see changed is the orientation of the SSD trays, because as it is, the main bulk of cables is in the way. You can't route the power cable straight from the PSU to the SSDs. If the SSDs were oriented vertically like so, you could still have two of them on this side, but they would be much easier to plug in. Now let's get into the good stuff. First of all, I think this case looks awesome. It would look even better if my motherboard had a 12-volt RGB header, because then I could plug in the LED ring on the front. But even so, in white, I think it looks pretty good, because this is overall a black and white build. And you do get, even with this $80 version, you do get a hub for the RGB and fan headers. Secondly, I found this case to be very easy to work with. Everything is very easily accessible, and the idea of having a main bulk of cables at the back, which you can also tie down with the included Velcro straps, is a really big plus to me. It's because it's really easy to do cable management in, even if you're not good at it like me. And thirdly, of course, this is a very good airflow case. You can fit 3 fans on the front, and the front panel actually has a mesh in it, so the fans can actually work properly. So let's quickly sum up the pros and cons of this case. The cons are that the design of the top panel is not very user friendly and not very practical, and there could be a better solution for that. And the case likes to rattle when you're working on it. On the pro side, it has really good airflow, it looks great, and it has a lot of features included, such as the Velcro straps, the PSU shroud, the RGB and fan hub. All of that are ready in the $80 version like this. There are more expensive versions of this case with, included RGB fans and, dark tempered glass and all of that. And those can go up to, I think, $160 for the most expensive version. But I didn't need all those extra bells and whistles, so I just went with this, and I can say I am very happy with it. So, yes, I would recommend this case. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a like. Thanks for watching.